Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Discarded, and I make long form content that helps new players survive the grind. And we are here for episode number 2 of Stranded Alien Dawn. Now, anyone that's already familiar with my channel knows that I'm extremely prone to bonehead mistakes, and today is no exception. If you watched episode 1 just before watching this, you'll notice a couple of things are back under construction, and that is because I basically had to recreate the game due to the fact that I was dumb and I saved over episode 1 when I went to go and do practice on one of the other game modes. And I'm not even kidding. But let's get into this episode because I don't want to waste your time. It's very, very valuable. It's your most valuable asset, and it's an honor for you to be sharing yours with me. So we were on day 14, about halfway through when episode 1 ended. So we got the bench press done. I'm remaking these. I don't know if the resources are the same. They're pretty close when I'm looking at the screen now. I don't quite have as much hay, but that's okay. I can always go get more. In fact, I will tell my people to go get more now. Get more hay, get more grain here. I just now finished construction basics, which is good. And I'm loading up on rock chunks because we have a huge construction project in front of us with the fact that this map gives us so many survivors so quickly. We're already up to our 5th, and that basically already, with the style that I build, it already means that I need a second floor. So essentially, I need to get these harvested so that I can actually start that. And I also have Vivian doing construction so that she can do some help, because we're going to need all hands on deck. I've actually never done 2 floors by the first winter, so we're going to do kind of like a fun experiment and see if I can get that done. Because if I can get that done, then you can see what I did and how I did it, and you can do it too, just in case you're on a map that does have, like what this does, where you get a bunch of survivors, but maybe it has a more severe winter. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think this map does a cold snap, but in the fall. So you kind of just need to have some stuff done by then. So now that they got that done, let's go to housing. We'll go to floor. And I always do stone. Now you can technically do this if you want to just build a ghetto one, but that's not worth it because the first time you have severe weather, you are going to be in deep trouble. So let's go ahead and start this. I always do the max size that you can do, the 16 by 16, but it doesn't have to be that expensive, and I don't want it to be because I happen to know that there's just not a ton of stone around here to be my base. So I want to make it as cheap as possible. There we go. 867, we'll call that good. So we'll get that started. And then we want to do walls. And I like to do wood because, again, the stone is not, because, you know, they're both medium insulation. Yeah, the stone has a little bit higher integrity, or basically it has more hit points, but we don't really have our building get hit near as much. So that doesn't really help out that much. Then you want to do doors. And so with it being an even number, the doors will not be centered. So then what I like to do is I actually like to take it, and then whatever odd number or whatever odd side that I have, I do the opposite down on the other side. So like down here, I'll do this here, and then of course down there, then I'll have to do that. You can see that it'll automatically do stairs when stairs are needed, and that's nice. If you happen to get it to where it's the stairs and it goes off to the side, then I will literally cancel them and redo them. But we are at our second attack. Now, I have kind of slacked on the weapons production, sadly. In the first playthrough, I did really good. And I also haven't been near as lucky when it comes to my scavenging because I don't have a sniper rifle like I did in the previous playthrough. So this is actually going to make things a little more interesting for you to know, to see what it's like when you don't have easy mode. Now, this sucks that I'm trying to focus on the battles here. Oh, all right. A little minor injuries there. It's not that big of a deal. First, we need to observe them, but then I also know that we do want to, when that's the explosive beetles, you do want to butcher those because those are actually worth it. But you don't need to observe all of them. You just need to observe one. So Quinn's going to go ahead and take care of that. And obviously, anywhere you have green cob, you just keep going and looking and keep trying to harvest it because it is going to go bad very, very soon. All right, so the scarabs have been observed now. So this is regular. So remember how I said it wasn't worth it because that's going to rot away before you even get to it. But the big ones are 25. So that's actually worth it. All right, so back to the housing because we have a ton of work to do. So we want them constantly working on it. So I do 5x4 rooms because they consider that spacious and they enjoy that. So you go 5 tiles over. I didn't do the correct amount down, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 tiles over, 4 tiles deep. Cancel it. Get your walls. Get your wall back up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 tiles over, 4 tiles deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 tiles over, 4 tiles deep. Rinse and repeat. 5 over, 4 deep. Okay, that gives us 4 bedrooms on the main floor. Now, technically, you could put another bedroom here. And I suppose if you do have 5 survivors, but an extreme cold snap or something like that that's coming, like, like it's coming, then I suppose you could do that, but you'll see why I don't here in a second. It would be okay to do that because adding an expansion isn't that bad. Where things get hairy is when you uh, have to do the whole other floor, which now I have to go ahead and queue up. But before I do that, I want to make sure people don't get stuck. So door, you can do planks if you want, but you got to be careful with the planks. So let me just show you what I mean. If you choose the planks and you just go like left to right, you see how that's kind of got those posts and stuff. That's probably the best for the interior. However, if you choose the planks and you go right to left, you see how it's not nice and smooth. So that's meant to be on the outside to look nice and clean. Or I suppose if you had it on the outside, it would look crappy on the outside, but then the interior would look better. But I don't like to deal with that. I just like to get it and go. So that's up to you if you want to do that. I just do standard wood. And then put that dead center in that five square wall. You'll do that. Excellent. Oh, oh dang. It's a lot of bush roots. All right. Oh, we got research done, so let's keep that going. Let's see, 'cause I'm just doing the short stuff. Like I said, I like to knock out the short stuff pretty much as soon as I can. I know I have these over here, but I don't like this. I'm not really going to do much on this. I mean, I may tame something just to kind of showcase it, but I'm not going to probably do that a whole lot. I tried getting two dogs when it first came out, and I got a male and a female dog, and I was like, oh, this is great. Thinking that, I could have them sometimes, be around and stuff. Because, I mean, who doesn't like dogs? Like, you should like dogs. And if you don't like dogs, then either something terrorized you when you were younger, and I can kind of get it. But if you don't like dogs, then I don't even know if I can trust you. Because dogs are great. The other thing that we have to make sure of while doing this is the fact that once you have the floor, then you also need the flooring. Okay, so that's this one right here. Now you can do tiles. This is a skin bar carpet. Basically, it's a kind of like a pink carpet. And this is my regular carpet. How much carpet do I got? I got 281 cloth, so I got plenty of that. So I tend to like to do cloth in the rooms. And you don't have to use shift for this. You just click it once and it lets you drag it. So you got 40 cloth there. Housing, flooring, carpet. 40 cloth there. Housing, flooring, carpet. 40, 40, 40, and 40 at least. Oops. And for the center part, I generally do this ceramic tiles. I just like the look of the tiles. But knowing that the stone for this is really hard to get, I'm going to do a different thing because I like to do. Um, I like to do a non-carpeted floor for this. So instead, since I know I have tons of wood, I'm going to go ahead and do the wood paneling for the floor here. That is amazing. I didn't think I had that much wood in use, but as I have 730 wood, I guess those walls and doors are going to use it all, but we will rectify that here in a minute. Let's cut down. Let me cut all these down. Having a hard time getting the one that I forget the name of. I think it's the pan cloth, but the one that just comes up says uh, small flying lizard. He keeps flying off every time I tell it to get observed. So we get those trees queued to cut, and we had just built the tailoring booth not too long um, before the end of episode 1. So let me get that set up. Take off weapons and tools, and then here for apparel, you want to take that off. Oh, she's getting there. She's getting there. Oh, she's already even doing the flooring. That's great. They must have changed that. I could have sworn you needed construction too. But I'm not complaining. Want them to get it done. I was a little surprised to see that I got quite a few views on episode 1, so thank you to everyone that's checked that out. Didn't have the longest view duration, and that's okay. I'm sure a good chunk of people came for the news, and that's it. And you know what? That's fine. I'm not making money off of anything, anyways. Sufficient storage space. Huh. Now I have all that wood, and then it was saying that I had a wood shortage before? Very interesting. Also get this going, because we don't want anything to hurt our house. At least not regularly. Oh, can you see where my influence was? For my other series? Oh, jeez, okay. Those are done. Do those, the brick, and the leather armor. Fortifications next. Nice thing is when they reworked the scaling attacks, it's there's aspects of the harder moons that are way harder, but then I feel like the Jason moon is quite a bit easier than it used to be. It's still a decent challenge and can be a nuisance if you don't prepare for it. Kind of furious. That's medium thermal strong support, medium thermal strong support. So I could technically also do wood ceiling. Strong support, medium thermal. Strong support, medium thermal. I usually do this stone. Very strong, but awful thermal. With a metal floor? All right. Now that Vivian's construction is better, then I can actually put her kind of back more towards 9. I can put him kind of back more towards probably 3. Ken can probably go with more like 3. Ember can also go to 3, I feel like. But we got a lot of people focusing on it. Quinn, we want researching. That's a no-brainer. And I think for this, I think I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go aggressive and try and go with electric right off the bat. Because we do have battery optimized. This is one of the best things to get is battery optimization as well as the graphene solar cells. Because as good as the wind turbines are for having steady power, they simply just do not give consistent results. Just for go into the pacifiers, get the 12-hour one done, and then we'll go into the electric grids. New insect nest. This is where when compared to here. Okay, so that's way away from us. We don't got to worry about that. So here it says, for Let's Explore, it says research long distance travel. Researching long distance travel will allow you to build a hot air balloon and send survivors to explore faraway points of interest. This is that Quinn thing that I was talking about during the character selection screen. Each expedition will require liquid fuel and some food for the survivor. You could discover resources, help a fellow crash lander, or get tangled in some weird adventure. This is kind of where I think Paradox could do some really cool things if they kind of added some complexity to that. Now they've done a good job of, once they have done the other updates in the game and stuff like that, trying to give some variation, because certainly at first there was like I think like what felt like 5 total things that you could get on it, and most of which you didn't end up most of which you didn't really end up I can't even think of the word now. Like one of the tachyon source, one that helps Nova be able to actually do intelligence stuff. Um, that ends up being something that, while nice, I haven't seen it on this scenario, and I was a few years in when I did my test run with it. Oh, so I don't have enough mushrooms. I'm kind of looking for more. There isn't a lot. But unfortunately, when it comes to doing this big of a project, considering that we have to do a whole second floor, um, it's just not feasible to start with the farming yet, because I'm not going to get my harvest and stuff before winter anyways. You're almost in fall, and about halfway through fall it starts to get cold regardless. So we'll just let them keep doing this. Now if you want to get fancy and try and do stuff like windows and lots of decorative stuff. You do what you want to do, but I ain't doing none of that. I'm too paranoid because of the if you have a room, it hurts your insulation, and anyone that's ever been stuck in an extreme cold snap can straight up tell you, yeah, it's already hard enough to survive that. We're gonna go aggressive with our research. We're gonna get the electric up. We'll have to obviously do some other stuff. So this, obviously, I gotta do the antibiotics first. This, there. Move that yet. That. This will eventually come in. But I want to see him kind of get this all done first, and then we'll get the second floor started. This could technically move. Because we will bring the construction stuff closer. Now, what you can do if you want is you can build like another, like if you wanted to use the scrap metal, you could do the scrap metal and just do like a construction building right here if you want. But I'm fine with keeping them under the shelters. They don't actually degrade or anything like that. So the house is coming right along. This is good. This is good. Fortifications is done. I don't know that I'll keep that on there, but I'm going to stick that on there for now. So, no. Eat up all of the grain. Wait. Up here, make sure we're harvesting these whenever we can. Those aren't able to be done. Harvest beef berries, I guess. How are we doing on meat? We got 68 meat left. We better get some more meat. Good chunk of meat. I know that harvesting the silicone will unlock some of the other stuff that we do need. Or now I haven't seen. I've heard. I know it was rumored back in the early days. So music night. When you have musical instruments, you have music, and music is everything that one needs to make a party. Let's gather and dance at 1900. Heck yeah. But it was always rumored that these spots with these butterflies is that's where one of the a future nest could end up coming in at. Pacifiers. What I can do first? We'll do concrete rooms just to throw something in there. This will come very soon because that wants oils and fats. Yeah, be okay. Be okay, Ken. I am so glad that regardless, uh, he can still fire at those big things. Because can you imagine him trying to kill one of those things with a friggin' knife? Good joke. I'm seeing a need for one of these melons before winter. Ooh, a lot of them are starting to go away already. That isn't good. Lots of fruits, so that's good. There's more mushrooms. Let me get those. And that's where the pickled veggies can come in pretty handy, is that they can pickle a lot of the other stuff. They can pickle the mushrooms. They can pickle the bush melons or whatever they're called. Buttermelon. There we go. Getting along with Quinn. Doesn't like Vivian or everybody likes Quinn. See, Quinn likes everybody, so that's cool. Ken likes Amber. Amber likes Ken. That's great. That's a good pairing because they both, well, one's good at combat and the other one likes the combat. So all right. Get it, Quinn. They kept flying away anyway, so might as well get it now. Well, this is going to be an interesting winter. All I can say is I'm glad I have a lot of fruits. You won't like it. You won't like having on the fruits all winter long. That's for sure. Won't really have much of a choice because for some reason, just didn't get very many watermelons from when I pulled the harvest on. Still quite a few just sitting here. That is a lot. That is a lot of wood. It's okay, man. Get them done. Then, now that that's done, we can get the ceiling done. Again, I think would behoove us to go ahead and do wood. Glad I kind of looked that up because I just didn't. I didn't realize that it was just as good or whatever for insulation and everything. Deforest that area. Because even when that gets done, I'm going to need more wood for the walls. Just kind of looking at the different researches here. Now I have kind of been thinking, we'll see how this video does. Given the fact that this doesn't have a huge player base, I may or may not continue to do the other game modes as a full-fledged beginner tips and tricks, because that would be like, I would make this one really, really long, and I'd rather kind of do what everyone else wants. Not like everyone, because obviously I am going to have this be heavily influenced by what I feel like doing, because like I said, it's a passion project. But I do care about input, and I want to take that into account when I do stuff. And from what I can see, the views were great. The duration was not, which kind of shows more attention given to the news than the actual gameplay. And as much as I'd like to be someone that helped shine more attention on the game, because I think it's a fantastic game, I can't remember how many hours I have into it, but I haven't played it like super regularly for quite a few years, just because, well, I can't say quite a few years because it didn't come out that long ago, but It's been a long time since I've done it actively, simply because I've been so busy with work. And this is the kind of game that like it gets me sucked in, and like because there's always something more to do, then it just sucks away your day. Now, if that's not what you want from a game, then probably not the best game for you. But if you are someone that just, likes getting immersed and getting in there and grinding and doing it, then I mean, this game's fantastic. But it is starting to get colder, so I'm hoping that they'll keep getting this thing built up, because we got a whole other set of walls to do, and then we got to do another room. We got to build furniture. Like, there's still a lot to do on this house, which is why I did all of that. Now I could do some more mining to do a stone roof, but that wouldn't make much sense. You know what I mean? Not if I can burn. Let's see here. Thunderstorm going on. It's got a sleep parasite, so our lightning strike is worn off. That's a good thing. And the first strike usually is. Oops. Now, I have tried doing just two, but that did not work very well. I found it to where they were gone because sometimes two or three would go and then there was none. So four, the nice thing about four is it seems like once you have four, then you can have a few go out kind of all in a row, and you actually still have some. So now, just actually no, I do want to do five. In all honesty, just because when you go through winter, if we don't have enough good clothes, then it'll be you'll get pneumonia. Okay, so what I like to do with the stairs is I like to leave one space between the base of the stairs so people can walk around them no problem. And then I also like to offset it from the door. That way, if they're trying to cross, then they can do it without being obstructed. That way, when they go upstairs, they're going upstairs with purpose. We got both of those going, and now the walls. Click the second floor button. As you can see, when you place the stairs, it opens it right up for you. You don't have to spend time trying to deconstruct it like you would in a lot of, survival games and whatnot. Just do the same. I do the same thing up here. Certainly wouldn't necessarily need to do it identically. I'd mainly just do it because it's familiar. No. Then ceiling again. Wood. Then down on the main floor, I can actually start making beds. We don't have a ton of cloth, don't have a ton of leather, don't have a lot of skin bark. Well, guess what? Everybody's getting pink beds. Oh, no, they're not. Oh boy. Okay, so what do I have? I have cloth. I have I okay. Well, I do have enough, but it's not a ton. Everybody's still getting the skin bark. That's what I have the most of. Upstairs, and can put one up there as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and put them in all 4 bedrooms because why not? I have 80 skin bark and it gets them to use. Now we have those, so I will draft and bring everybody up. Good thing I have everybody at least with bows now. Would be a... Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Didn't even mean to do that. Got an explosive scarabs down here, so take care of that first, but was going to take care of it first, but then I had an opportunity to take care of the other one, so. Down there yet, looks like. Oh, that's an overgrown one or a regular one? Regular one. Last one. Not seeing it. There it is, right there. Oh, Control R to get rid of them. Explosive. Drone. Explosive. Dead. Might as well just go ahead and do it. Oh, yes. Try and get as many of those as I can. Believe it or not, I mean 500 is okay, and I'm having the 500 for the bush fruits. That's gonna last through winter. It's more now. It's more now about being able to have the food variety because they do enjoy that. Where I don't know why Ember's so hard to keep happy. I don't I don't have that problem like ever. What wins problem? Ideally, if we were to get, so I gotta get electronics so I can get that researching plus this. But that's the fuel. I usually do wood, but just for mixing it up, let's go ahead and do that. We got the normal distillery. I like to build it right outside of here because here in a sec, once we get done getting all these done, so like as you can see, it's starting to get pretty cold outside. We want to get to the point where we're sleeping inside because obviously it's going to be a lot warmer. Now, I did make an aggressive push for power or for electricity or whatever, but I don't think we're going to quite make it just because I wanted the graphene solar cell. So instead, we'll just do the standard stuff, which is okay because then I can at least showcase it. So I like to put the heating element on the side that is not closest to the wall. And the main reason for that is because if you were to have severe weather, technically by having it closer to here means that this is ultimately going to be warmer than if it was over here. Because we don't care if this is warm. You're never going to be here, but we do care if all of this is warm. Then you also have to do a fireplace. Actually, and I always do two. Wind's going to be all right. Bars all gone. All in the beds. Yeah. Sorry, I should have read it to you, but essentially, uh, he had an opportunity to add CPU assembly for less time, and essentially it was, I want to say it's a 2 day research. So it took 12 hours off of it. It was 25% faster. That's not bad. I'll take it. Now we need to go up top, and we need to also do heat up there. Yeah, gotta start paying close attention to when they're going to bed because they're having a hard time actually having enough rest. That's another thing that's not very sad. I've not had to deal with that. With us moving over here, obviously we don't want our stuff to constantly be over there. So what we're gonna want to do, I like to do a set of shelter only. I like the metal ones. I like the way they look more than stick ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a metal one for the construction supplies. I want to go ahead and let's put them on this side. I wasn't gonna put them on this side, but let's just go ahead and put them on this side. Mainly because we can't really do a whole lot over here, so we might as well make it the construction area, in my opinion. I'm going to do more. Of course, I did it based off the door. That means it's a little bit off from the corner of that, but that's okay. That is not that big of a deal. Let's copy the construction, the stockpiles. Oh, sorry. I keep just blazing through it just because I've done it so many times. I'm sorry. I should be reading that to you. But essentially, it's talking about how there's brain parasites, and if we can perform, do you want to perform a surgery? It could be risky, blah, blah, blah. At this point, nobody is really amazing with healing, but at the same time, they probably still could. They, let's put it this way: I don't think I've had it fail yet. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm saying that I'm just saying that I haven't had it yet. touch anything or get nobody's sleeping well. I just don't get it. I assure you, of all the times I've done this, 7 hours of sleeping is fine. This is more of, it's got to be that they're just simply not stopping their work in time. The assembly is done. Use oils and fats, which is done. Do that. A little bit, so let me just go ahead and, this is the one time that I'm going to do it, the one, just the times one. This one, I like to just leave it at 10. This is only because I only have so much grain, the 343 grain. Do have 10 antibiotics, and that's good. So I'm set for winter for if they get pneumonia. Almost said ammonia. Things actually start to get pretty darn efficient once you get inside the building, too. This isn't helping that he's got to go get wood from clear up here to then come clear over here. Like it really should have been put away, but we'll be able to get, enough of the veggies and stuff harvested, and even cloth. Like I was aggressive at the cloth, and I still barely have any of it. Crazy. See how everybody's clothes are all messed up? Like, that's why you gotta go crazy with cloth for a minute. Crazy with cloth and, you know, need quite a bit of leather as well. So we'll let them get finished with all this, and then I need to hunt like crazy so I can get some leather. And when it comes spring and I start planting, then that'll set us up with cloth because I can plant a lot more cloth than what's around here. That's one of the more difficult parts about this particular seed. Now, if you're watching this and haven't started yet, you could technically start the game, and then as soon as you get cloth researched, you could plant a field like up here, knowing that you'd build over here. And that would kind of help set you up for being able to make more clothing, but nothing's going to help with the fact that you need more leather other than just doing more hunting. So that's by myself. So the good news is that they haven't even finished cutting, and the lack of resources thing has already disappeared. So that's great. So that means that all this stuff should be done very, very soon. All right, so this is good. So everybody's going into the new house. So that's good because that tells me that there's enough bedrooms done to where I can start moving this stuff and not worrying about whether these two are done. I was going to assign them, but since they're already all kind of doing it, then we kind of already know. So Quinn is upstairs. I'm not going to have that be the case. Once the morning hits, I'll probably make this Quinn's bedroom. And the reason for that is because I want the research to be there. Now, the other thing we have to do is actually start disassembling these, and then disassembling these, and disassembling these, so that they can get brought over here. No sense in Quinn not having a job. Manly made him do that. Now, I can't remember in the first episode if I told you when you queue up the orders like that, when you have them selected and then you just like you right click on something. Okay, opportunity. See, so here's another opportunity. Power cell research. I have dabbled in some advanced DIY and have a vague memory of how power cells are made. It should be possible to research them without a sample. So then this is unlock power cell assembly with decreased research time. This is the same thing that the other one was. It's just I powered through it. So that's great. So we're obviously going to add that to the list. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there just because right now we don't have a bunch of these. I got a copy. And then for these, gives you a chance to do like 5 shelves there. Do 5 shelves here. Only has 3 open, so I can go 5 shelves there. This is just to bring all the storage inside. Under one roof. Okay. There's a reason why I didn't do it there, because we are going to then also... We don't have electricity yet, so we're going to go with the old-fashioned cooking stove. I'm going to leave a space so that she doesn't... that whoever stands right in front of the fireplace doesn't bake while they do it. But then since I am making that, then I need to move the... I always like to have the cooked meal box handy. So we'll put that there. We can technically go ahead and deconstruct that. We can move the drying rack in. Right? Just like that, so that they can just come right down here to grab it. For the leisure stuff, I'm going to just bring it all in. The dartboard. Ooh, the dartboard. Let's put the dartboard right up against that door. So I like to turn this area up here to kind of just a recreation area, you know? I do usually can bring the shooting target inside because it doesn't disturb anyone's sleep. So I'll just put that down there so it's out of the way, kind of. The sort of my thing. Alright, you don't have to get alarmed by this, as I've been feeling a bit sickly lately. It's probably just a cold, nothing to be done about it, but I hope that it won't escalate into something nasty. Try not to sneeze in other people's faces. That's essentially, in my opinion, the precursor to, like, I mean, you get it every freaking winter. Seems, anyways. But it seems like it's the precursor to pneumonia. Table I usually have in here. Kind of forgot about that. Used. Just want the chairs. Just want the chairs. Don't like how that. Not in a. That's what I needed. Needed the table. to be there. See it correctly. And of course, I technically could have moved that up and maybe fit it here, but and who knows? I may still do that. I'm gonna let them get it moving because it's in the morning. I want them to be able to sit to eat. When it comes to that. Now on this base floor, now is when I need to assign Quinn. I might as well go ahead and assign this one to Vivian. Just so I can move their corresponding workbenches. I wish you could do that, but I understand why not. The only reason why I'm putting their workbench in their room is because they're the only people that do that. If it was anything else, like the soldering bin, something like that, then you wouldn't want to do that because then you have that whole disturbing the sleep thing because somebody would be sleeping and another person would come in to try and work on it. So it's just not good. And now needs a jacket. He needs a jacket. Get yourself a jacket. Pretty sure you didn't. And by pretty sure you didn't, I mean, no. You need to go get. Oh crap! There's not one there. Okay. So this is what's kind of neat is that when you have these older stuff, you can right click on them, and then that will set people to go ahead and disassemble them, and you get some of the scraps back from them. So we'll get a little bit of cloth, maybe even a little bit of leather if we're lucky. Okay. This workbench can now come here, maybe? Let's draft our people. Because these things are very dangerous. As soon as you hit them, they are very fast. That was annoying because I told them to attack and they just kind of ran up to it. But it does that sometimes. As you can see, they hurt. So this is going to be a costly fight there with that one. I need to see where the other one is because I don't want to just run right past it and trigger it. Oh, it's like the other one. Well. Oh, because I got attacked by both. That's why. They are worth butchering. Wait till they get done treating people too. actually you think wait till they get done treating people till I actually move the medical boxes, because then it'll basically block them from having access to them. So. Oh, I'm sure some of you are like, oh, but it's dark in there and all that. And you're like, yeah, it is. It really is. But at the same time, it is also not near as important. Now that that's done, let's get the medical supplies in there. Now that's what I put in the other spot, just so you know. Here, and then copy. You don't usually end up getting a whole bunch of them like this, but the more you scavenge, like if I just start getting first aid kits like crazy, then it's nice to have the extra storage boxes. Disassemble those beds. We can disassemble the beds. Aw, Ken fed Quinn. I'll let them doing that up. 60-40. I need to hunt that. 20, no. 30, no. 50, no. Doing that for the meat as much as I am the leather. Now we're sitting really good on buttermelons. We did good cleaning up there at the very end of fall. I kind of thought with them being green for a long time that it wasn't going to be that way. Start deconstructing these shelves. Alright, now when it comes to upstairs, obviously they're not as happy up here because of the floors. So let me go ahead and start taking care of that. Flooring, I hate the look. I'm gonna go ahead and do the ceramic. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. I just do not like the wood on wood. It was necessary at the time, but we gonna do this right. Now, as far as the bedrooms, I'm probably gonna have to do it anyways. we've made an oil, we've made a fat. Now we can do the fuel mixing, which should unlock the traveling. Probably not going to need the cloth anymore. At least not for a while. I'll do that later when I run out of stuff to do. I'm going to go ahead and cave and do the wood paneling in the bedrooms. Now, I've done that in the past, and honestly, it doesn't bother me as much, which is 100% hypocritical, and I recognize that. But at the same time, it doesn't bother me as much. It doesn't bother me as much. I mean, we do anything about that. Risk of melting down when he ain't got a single problem with his life. Oh, right, you glitter caps. Yeah, we need to get the meals going because oh, Quinn's melting down. Now you don't have to pull the raw red meat off because obviously you just use the meat for it, but I like letting it go to the dried meat so that they're pulling that. Mostly because the dried meat is your oldest stuff most of the time anyways. Now, it doesn't really matter if you have this going because this doesn't, you can actually see how it's X'd out, like uh it doesn't well, interesting. I'm not, oh, maybe you beat it up. I'll repair it. But I have it forbidden so that they can't actually grab anything from it anyway, so it's not that big of a deal to uncheck that, but just wanted to showcase that. I don't like seeing two stones just sitting there unmined. We definitely need to get to some scavenging. So once these are done, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit to disassemble because it looks like they did actually do, yeah, they got the shelves finally. They didn't put away the wood yet, but they did get them disassembled. So that's awesome. We're moving right along. We are almost done with this episode. We still just keep on having issues. I may have to give them another hour of sleep or something in the morning, maybe. Let's go ahead and do that. That. See how this doesn't really need as much because it's got all the heat and stuff from basically rising from below. Fantastic. Now, I don't do the lights. You can do uh, like wall torches or even oil wall lamps, but I don't have a lot of that. This is easier to maintain, but I don't like to because I don't like having a bunch of wall stuff since they're limited and all that. You can do some for decoration and stuff, but I like to do that more once I have the electricity, because then you can do this outside your doors. They barely take anything. These are good to put for the rooms to like the main area, so that basically like this is 74 right now interior and it's 55. Now if I were to put the air vent, this might drop down to like 70, and then this would go from 55 to like maybe 60 if I did it across the board. So that can become important as well. Cute research. Now we'll just go ahead and do that since I don't have anything going. I kind of figured that was going to do it, but it also want me to produce the fuel. Quite honestly, I don't remember where you do that. Extracting, maybe. Oh no, you have to craft. That's right. You have to craft it. Craft it. Craft. So, oops, that was. But that's all that was left of our original base. We got. Let's go ahead and kind of trying to think here for my planning. So now that's done. So we got people idling. That's fine. We're gonna need these cut. Whole shebang. Shebang, shebang. So that's not important. Let's explore this ship until it's gone, and then we'll call that the episode. Yes, I did. Fantastic. I got plenty of room there, looks like. Finished metal. That's all right. Let's go ahead and do the short ones. Long distance travel. The traps. I got a power cell. That's fantastic. Say that unlocked something, which is pulse rifles, which what that does is that stuns the target. As I know, I don't think it does any damage, but it does stun them. Still bizarre to me why she needs so much. Let me maybe we can do this. Take 1 more hour off. Oh wait, no. I remember why I did that. You give 1 more hour to that. I mean, see, and that's the tough part because here she's just waking up. She's already at 86. I'm gonna have her on relaxation for 2 hours. So basically, she's just gonna stand there and be like, hmm? Didn't go through near as much buttermelon as I was thinking that we did. I don't know why my head was trying to think that we were going to go through at least 500, but we definitely did not. Now, we did go through a ton of bush fruits, and that was mostly because I had forgotten to make the meals on there, so they switched between that and the rations, which is fine because now they actually have to make the meals. But you can kind of see how the scrap metal thing is important when it comes to Ken because he just found 2 more power cells, which is absolutely awesome. I'm loving that. Vivian's in Euphoria. I'm not sure how, but hey, yay for Vivian. Tailors, which night that's not that bad. Let's see what we have. I can go mine more stone in case I want to do concrete, but I don't even know what I would do concrete of, so we'll waste. 2 more ticks on the spaceship, and we'll call it an episode. I know it doesn't really mean anything significant as far as what you'd be waiting for, but poke and prod around here to see what's available. Still want to find. There we go. Small evergreen tree. What was that? I couldn't find them before. I kept looking. That makes me happy. See? Sitting or sticking around, you got to learn where the small evergreen trees were. Other people that decided to click off and not watch till the end, they are not going to know where the small. They're going to have to find it themselves. I'm not going to say they're not going to find them at all because it's not exactly far. But I mean, look at that. That should have been obvious. Yet I missed it. That's what's kind of fun. Oh, and yeah, you can. I could set other people to scavenge too, to give them something to do. That way, they're doing something. Boom! Got our electronics. That's exciting. We'll get a cloth done. I'll get all these 3 easy ones done. Of course, Quinn had to eat. He's got a really fast thing to research, and he had to eat. I like to do the night goggles because that kind of solves a lot of the attacks like to come at night just to make it a little more challenging. So when you have the night goggles in, you shouldn't really have to deal with the too dark problem when they can't see for crap. But, all right, well, we got that finished. So let's go ahead and call that the episode officially. Get to farming in the next episode because we're just about to hit spring, and that's pretty much when you want to make sure that you're like right at the tail end of winter. Is like that's why this is actually perfect. So I'm gonna pause it while I do the outro because this is the perfect time to actually kind of start getting your fields planned out. Like you get it laid out. They don't necessarily start it right away because the ground's too cold, I believe. I'm not positive on that one, but I'm pretty sure that they don't plant it when it's snowy like this. But even if they do, the main point is that we'll get to the farming in the next episode, and that's when you pretty much like this. This is going to be no longer a problem, at least as far as cloth is concerned. The skin bark, I'll harvest all of this stuff in the spring, so you at least have kind of like a backup plan. It turns everything pink, and not really my favorite color, but it does come through in a pinch when needed. Although I don't usually need it because once you start getting a sniper rifle, as long as you get one, preferably two, you can start hitting the nests and then it's game over from there because then you start getting the carbon, which is all the best material for everything. But we'll get to that then. And just want to say if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the time you've spent. It's everyone's most valuable resource, and that's never lost on me. Thanks for watching. Come back, see me again. Take care.